The word was all over the community. Pops is closing. It's been put up for sale. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'll show you how I built Pop's General Store from Casey's workshop. I got this kit in 2019 because I love the photo on the front. The description says this was a collaborative affair between Casey's workshop, Jason Jensen Trains, and HO Scale Customs, which was Brett and Todd Wiley. And the kit comes with a couple of different materials for roofing and for the sidewalls, so you can decide how you want it and customize it. Now here's what comes in the kit. You have a couple different roof cards if you want standing seam roof or rolled roofing. You have laser cut walls from a couple different materials, clapboard and board and batten, plus strip wood, tissue windows, and signs. The first thing I did was I cleaned up the edges of all of my pieces. Then I went ahead and used my teeny tiny ponce wheel to make nail holes. And I came back with my X-Acto blade and started distressing the clapboard so it would look more worn. Then I cut all my bracing and glued it in place. And after I had the bracing in place, I put my first stain down. I put a dark brown on the outbuilding out back. I put a lighter brown on all of the sidewalls of the main building. Then I used Mud Creek Old Gray for the front wall. I want it to look like it had been kept in better shape, being on the front of the building. I also went ahead and stained all of my corner trim. It was going to be the same color as the walls. Then I came back with a white paint that was very thin and went over it lightly so that the stain was showing through. I wanted an accent color around the bottom portion, so I set my gauge to a 1/2 inch and started taping off above that line. And then you want to make sure you use some kind of burnishing tool to make sure it gets down into all the little cracks and crevices. Then I went around all of the walls at that same height and applied my masking tape. Then I had to pick which color I wanted to use for the bottom accent. I wanted it to be a faded green, as if it had been painted many, many years ago. I ended up picking the speed paint and putting it on very lightly. In a couple of places it went on a little too heavy and I had to dull it down some. But on the front wall that was okay, because again they would have maintained that a little better. Then I started gluing all my walls together of the main building and the little outbuildings. There are some laser cut doors and screen doors, and I went ahead and primed those. And then I decided I wanted to add some flooring into the building. I don't like them to just be open on the bottom. So I took a piece of 1/16 inch basswood and just drew some lines on it, and then cut it to shape and glued it inside the base of the building. Then I came back and I stained that with one of my homemade stains. I also put another coating of driftwood stain over the entire building once it was glued together, just to dull it down. And I used a couple different stains on the windows and laser cut doors after they had all been primed. Then it was time to cut out the acetate to fit into the windows, and I glued all of that in place. I then used thinned burnt umber to make all the windows look dirty. I've shown how to do that in other videos. Then I glued the outbuilding onto the back of the main building. I went ahead and applied the toolie that came in the kit to the back of the screen doors. This is a perfect use for liquid PSA. Then I went ahead and glued all the windows into the building using canopy glue. I also glued some shades that I had made out of manila paper on the inside of the building. I really like the laser cut doors. They have those very thin mullions that it's hard to get with plastic castings. I also glued some 1/32 trim where walls met. I don't like to see the open clapboard meeting there. Now I cut a piece of gator board. I'm going to make a base for this, but I'll cover that in a second video. But I did need to start making some of the foundation strips. So I started by using some 2x8. I then used some 8x8 coming off of those pieces, and that was going to be the support for the porches on the front and the side. I then used 2x4 as the joists and the supports that went across the 8x8s, and that way they were half the size, and I was able to have supports that supported the joists all the way across on both the front and the side. After that was all dry, I came back and stained those with a couple different shades. I used 2x8s as the planking after distressing the ends of most of them, and then glued them down. Then I came back with a few different stains and went over them. Now the roof card for the rolled roofing was really neat. It had been laser etched to look like old roof planking that had knot holes. So I colored it with a roof brown paint pen that I had, and it came out looking really nice. Then I used the black construction paper that came in the kit and cut it into 2 feet strips. I painted the underside of the roof cards and used weights to hold them down while they were drying. Then I went ahead and spray painted the strips of rolled roofing with a chalky gray color, and then went back over them with a light coat of flat black. Then I used some really coarse sandpaper to rough up one edge of the rolled roofing. And once I glued it in place, leaving that area open, I really liked how it was coming out. And I test fit the roof in place to see how it looked. Next I glued the 2 pieces of cardstock onto the 2 little bump outs. And to cover those, I was going to be using a new product that Rail Scale Models has come out with. This is their corrugated roofing that's already painted in a gray color. This saves you the step of having to paint it first. You can use it just as it is, but I was going to rust mine. After cutting it into the sizes that I needed, I used a silver Sharpie just to cover the edges where the material was showing through. Then I put a light rust wash over the entire piece of both of them, and then I sponged on some Mission Models rusting to indicate areas that had more rust on them. And I used some 3M adhesive just to hold those 2 pieces on. I started working now on the canopy that went over the side decking. And I built some framework underneath the roof card. Then I went ahead and covered that with another material that I've been using for roofing. It's calligraphy paper, and I'll show you a bit more later. So I went ahead and glued the roof in place with a couple blocks underneath for support. Then I came back and tore some of the roofing so that it would look like the tar paper was starting to fail. I also glued in place a post, and I also added a support to make it look like the post wasn't really doing its job. This is the calligraphy paper. I just cut it into strips and then glue it in place. This is the cardstock that's going over the front porch. And I wanted to get a couple pieces of phosphor bronze wire to attach to the frame that I built for it. But I had to get out all of my packages of wire and open them all up to see which size I wanted to use. So I decided, in order to avoid having to do that in the future, I made this little rig using a couple pieces of scribe siding, and I just glued a piece of each wire that I have in place and marked them. So now it's easy to see which size I want to use. Then I went ahead and glued the roof in place and drilled holes for the wire to go through the wall and into the support underneath the roof, and then glued the wire in place as well. I wanted a sway back look for my main roof. So if you cut a very thin crescent shape out of both of your roof cards, then you put a little support underneath in the middle and glue your two roof pieces together when you glue the roof onto the building, it can give you a sway back look like this. I started working on the front sign for the building. I used the one that came in the kit, and I cut a piece of 1/64 plywood to mount it on. Then I went ahead and painted it brown and added some strip wood around the side, and then I'll go ahead and mount it on the front porch. I started working on the rest of the signs that came in the kit, using a sponge to dab some rust onto them. Then I started to cut them out. For round signs, I find it easier to cut with a pair of small scissors than using an X-Acto knife. After I'd cut out all of the signs, the next thing I like to do is go around the edges with a little bit of brown paint to hide the paper. You can use a brown Sharpie for this step, which is a little easier, but I find that often it bleeds into the sign more than I like. So then I went ahead and just picked places to glue the signs onto my building. I wanted to mount a vent fan onto my little bump out building. I couldn't decide which color I wanted to use, so I painted them in two colors. I opened up an area so that it would be open behind the fan. And once I had rusted them, I decided I liked the gray one better. So I mounted it in place with a support around it. Then I had painted a couple of different chimneys and vent stacks, and I glued them in place as well. Then I put brackets onto the front sign that would get mounted on the porch, and I glued it in place. And now I started looking at the base that I was going to make for this. And I'll just show you, I used some Sculptamold on the piece of gator board that I had cut. And I was going to have the front sitting flat with some supports underneath the back. But I'll continue with that in another video. So for now, I just started weathering the structure using the artist pigments that I love to use so much. And I put them on both sides and used some on the roof. And for now, the structure's done. I really liked a few of the extra features that came with this kit. The etched roofing cards that looked like boards underneath the roof, and the variety of roofing options that you had. And I enjoyed building it, putting together the porches and the roofs. And I'm looking forward to mounting it on the base. I'll be using some brick supports for that. And I hope you come back and see part 2 of this once I'm done with it. Thank you for watching.